I just had to play that real quick because why not? It's a Philly thing. This is a very interesting reflection video. And of course, it's centered around what? Philadelphia Eagles. Hometown team. You know, not something I'm usually into, not something I usually do at all whatsoever. And people who know me personally, especially since way back since I was a kid, you know, family and friends, y'all know I don't watch football. Y'all know I don't usually care for football. Y'all know I don't care about no sports, no major sports for real, for real. You know, I don't debate with people. I don't talk to people. I don't go to bars. I don't do none of this. So I used to have a lot of problems with football and a lot of problems with just major sports in general, but today this is about football. So the background of this, right, is growing up, yeah, people watch football in my house, you know, especially my brother, especially one of my aunt's ex-boyfriends or whatever. It's only a few men in the house, you know, but either way, as you know, wherever there's men, for the most part, there's sports, especially football, especially basketball, possibly even baseball. But those are the big three sports here in America, obviously, and that's what people usually get into. But my house definitely was big on football. Now, besides that, you might find yourself watching wrestling. For me, I was never into any sports whatsoever. I didn't like watching it. I didn't like playing the games, you know, except for the few exceptions, such as like crazier games like NBA Street, NFL Street, like Blitz the League, you know, if y'all even remember those kind of games. Those games were like football games and basketball games. They were like super fake and super complicated. So I like playing that stuff. Because why would I sit here and play a game that of something that I could watch on TV? And then why would I want to do that when I could just go play it? That's just the way I always thought about it. Some people like, you thinking too serious about it. Why you even care that much? Hey, that's just how I thought since I was a kid. And then it doesn't help as you get older that these are like the few things that people care about, right? They care about this so much that they make it their whole identity. That football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport, you know, they make it their whole identity. It's not like I had a bad experience or nothing like that with sports or with football. I was an athletic kid. I jumped around, I climbed on stuff. I'll play basketball with people. I played football with people. I played baseball with my brother. You know, I played games with the neighborhood kids around my way. I did all those things, but it's just, I can't watch football. I couldn't be seen watching it. I couldn't be seen playing the games on PlayStation. We had PlayStation most of the time. You wouldn't catch me playing it. I remember the first and only football game I tried to play seriously was Madden 09. Madden 09. I think like the Green Bay Packers was on there on the cover, somebody from the Green Bay. Who cares? Like, I just didn't even know what was going on. First of all, one, and I could have played it with my brother, but you know, he just didn't have the patience for me to even show me how to play and understand this stuff, first of all. But even as I did start to understand the positioning, quarterbacks, linebackers, whatever, yada, 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 the commentary, the rules, all these kind of things, I just still didn't like it. I just didn't like it. First of all, sports games is not really my thing and also never been my thing. But it took me some time to pick and choose which ones I like. That's the idea of growing up, right? It's not like I never had a bad experience. It's not like I never played it or anything like that. I did. Rough football. We talking two-hand touch, takedown in the middle of the street, scraping up your knees and elbows. Oh, I did that. Trust and believe I did that. But it's really just the way people act about it that used to get on my nerves, right? When you get to school and you just work as an adult as well, it's just like, it's all people want to talk about. And for the most part, it gets on my nerves because it's like every guy don't watch football. Every guy or girl, you know, don't care to watch the major sports, the obvious sports. Everybody doesn't worry about it. So when I go to work or been in school and just growing up and people always want to talk about it and they ask, what's your favorite team? Who's your team? What's your city? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, I don't have one. I don't have one. Or I just lie and say the Eagles because I already know for the most part, if you say anybody but the Eagles, they'll get mad. So I just lie and say the Eagles like I really care to even say the Eagles. And I don't care to say anybody. I'll just say other stuff just to make people mad at sometimes. When the Patriots and the Giants on top of stuff, people would ask me, I would just say the Patriots and the Giants just to make people mad so they can get away from me. Like, and that's sad, but that's just something I would do, right? Now, here's another thing. I respect all sports. I watch documentaries all the time. Me and my wife, fiance, but wife, same difference, whatever. We watch documentaries on all kinds of sports. You know, the greats of any sport, basketball, tennis, football, track, like Olympic stuff. Like, and I've been doing that on my own anyway before I got with my fiance, but we do it together and we talk about these things. I love learning the history of sports. I love and respect the grind that anybody has to go through to play any sport, especially when you're trying to be the best or being the best over a long period of time. I respect everything, you know, and it's not like I didn't respect football. It's just I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it, right? I didn't get all the yelling and the screaming and what is it about this that really gets you going, that really gets you up out your seat and yelling and screaming and getting mad and throwing stuff and breaking stuff. People throwing their TVs and furniture out of the window because they're so mad over a game. Don't get me wrong. Did I ever snap and get mad over video games and stuff like that much? Of course I did. What boy didn't? But I understand as I got older that that's just how people feel about sports. To me, it don't make any sense. To me, it's not even worth all that. But as I go through this season of 2024 to 2025 season in NFL, following the Eagles, I learned a lot. So to get to that point, right, this is my first season that I ever watched a majority of games for a team or just period, like staying this much tuned in, looking at highlights, listening to press conferences, hearing clips, looking at posts on social media, seeing what people are saying, the ins and out, learning team players' names, learning more about how the rules work and stuff like that, the coaches, the drafting, like really breaking down and really seeking purposefully how to understand NFL. Obviously the question could be, well, if somebody showed you that when you was younger, would you have been into it then? Probably not still, because there's plenty of things that I tried and I did that I didn't like. It's people's attitude when it comes to these things, because they take this stuff way too serious. It's way too serious for me. But that's another part. I had to really invest in this. Why? Because my fiance is into football. And I had to understand and respect why she likes football. And it comes from her family tradition. My family watched football too, but we was more so like, as a whole, we was more so into wrestling. But football here and there, depending on who you sitting with and who you talking to, but pretty much everybody else was football. I just was the one, as usual, who just the black sheep, who just don't do everything that everybody else do for whatever reason. I didn't ask to be that way. It wasn't a plan to be that way. It's just how it worked. I had to realize the difference in my culture and my fiance's culture, of our family and what we value and what we liked and what we did. She didn't have the experience I had where I'm so disconnected and I don't understand and I just grew to not care about football. She had a whole family, and family members who care about it, who dressed up, who got the clothes, who wore some gear, who has posters and objects around the house, who really cares about it. I, for one, didn't really care about it, because we didn't have all of that. We just watched it. It's a big learning experience. I had to learn that sometimes this is all some people got. And it's not like I didn't know that watching anything else or being a part of things in my life that I feel like I'm connected to, that represent me, that is a tradition or reminds me of my family when I was younger. It's not like I don't have those things. I do, but I just had to understand, one, through my fiance's eyes, but then going to so many games and preseason stuff, looking at stuff on social media, going to the Xfinity Live Bar in South Philly, like doing so many things. I went to the last Super Bowl game versus Kansas City at this spot called the Fillmore Theater and all that, standing there for hours just watching people go crazy. And, it's very entertaining. I'm like, y'all look stupid at the same time, but, it's very entertaining. And it was a experience for me as somebody who never got to do these things and was never given the opportunity, or even if I was, I probably said no. I don't remember, but I probably said no, knowing me, to do these things. And I've gotten to be able to do it because my fiance pushed me to do it, and because I'm also grown and I'm like, let me stop being stupid and just go do it. It don't hurt. We have a thing that we speak about where we just like, if we haven't done it, let's at least do it like one time or whatever, just to go see and do it together for us. She's done things on her own that I didn't do. I've done things that she didn't do, and we put it together, and that's just what makes us great. And we have fun, and we do great things. And stuff like this happens where we both learn stuff from each other, and then we just learn things about life and just being a part of things outside of our relationship and realizing what it brings and what it does for us. I would say that it brought me closer to my fiance. I would say that it helped me connect with her family as well. I know that the way my family feel about football and the way her family feel about football is two different totally things. And I'm not even going to really get into that, because realistically, I'll just be sitting there waiting for it all to end and be over with. There's a lot more I could say, but I think whoever's watching this, whoever you are, you get the point. It's just been a long journey of like, getting to understand this, and does this make me a fan? I know that's the real big question. I'm all greened out. I got a hat, I got a shirt on and all this stuff. Does this make me a fan? No. Does this make me love football? No. Am I going to act like I'm an enthusiast or I care a whole lot about football now? Absolutely not. But I will say I'll pop in, I'll watch some games, I'll keep tabs, just like everything else I do. And now with the Eagles situation, after attending the parade, this past Friday or whatnot, they won the Super Bowl again when everybody said they didn't. And I can actually sit and say I watched the majority of the games and I did the research and I listened to things and I watched videos and podcasts and people talking about it and just seeing how deep the Eagles' performance really goes. And then the nationwide level of this. I didn't even know that other countries care about football as much as they do in our time today because they never used to. But the Eagles especially, is all over the world, and it's crazy. So to be a part of something like that, it means a lot to a lot of people. It means something to me just a little bit now, not a whole lot. It's not like, woo, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not going to act like that. But, it just introduced something to my life that was not there, a level of understanding that was not there. So if you can relate to something like this or whatnot, drop a like, comment, share, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that. Peace.
Go Birds.
I'm not saying Go Birds.